Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning everyone. So today we are going to continue with our topic, the web and database for chapter 7. Okay, because this one is I think just like summarizing the knowledge that you have been understanding, okay, the knowledge that you have, the prior knowledge that you have earlier, because we have already touched this kind of information during our last subject on database. Okay. So this is the outline. Okay, web database, database NDBMS, database management system, database connection method. Okay, somehow from what that you have already explained earlier, for the database, the one that we are using is MySQL, yeah. Okay, so what is web and database? It is actually existing data in database can be accessed from the internet using an application server. The application server merge an HTML document which may exist inside or outside the database with information stored in the database and sends the resulting HTML document to the web server. Okay, somehow if you just have the MySQL at the back end of your in the PHP admin, but then in order for you to extract the data, you can just you just view it inside the MySQL. If you not make any kind of query or just query on the MySQL only, you may not able to push the results inside the HTML. Okay, if you're not, make it a connection between PHP, MySQL and HTML. So in this chapter, is actually shows how that you can make the connection from those three parties. Yeah, from the three parties. Okay, so web database. So database management system is one of essential parts of the WMS and is used to store web application data, and it is used to handle those databases that are having data such as e-commerce, e-business, logs, emails, and other online application. Okay, I like to emphasize that if you already learn about the MySQL inside this subject, please apa please expose yourself, yeah, please expose yourself to learn other kind of language, in terms of not only MySQL but also other kind of query language like Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, because it may use during when you are having the internship or you are joining industry. Okay, just this is just a basic platform only that you learn MySQL as an open source, right? But then it is advantage if you learn other kind of query language too, yeah. So it is a start that web database system is a system that store information for online access and usually keep records in a way that it easy for it to be searched and retrieved through a browser. So you can see between database and website, they are interconnected to each other. Okay, so this is the how that you normally organize our data in a tables. Okay, so if you have see here, there is a search button where you can search data by fast. You can upload any type of data including file and images, and work in a work and represent in terms of smartphones too, yeah. Okay, so here they mention about web database is a system for storing information that can then be accessed via a website. For example, an online community may have database that stores the username, password, and other details for all its members. And it is commonly used database system for internet switches like MySQL do its integration with PHP. So this is a widely known, widely used, yeah. Not only during your university time but also in the industry too. Okay, so it helps to organize data. It helps to keep the information in different fields, and you are using the concept of relational models that are common to record in share related fields, and non-relational option use a random approach to organize information. It generates schema structure that are flexible and robust, which are useful for organizations that handle large record. So this is a system architecture. Okay, you have user 1 in Malaysia, user 2 in Qatar, and you have database server which is in Europe, Okay, this one I think we can see from this previous slide. I mean the slide original one, which don't have my cameo here. But then just I want you to, I want to highlight the architecture, yeah. That I think this one is a web server. This one is database, so they are interconnected lah. So let's say that they have server in Europe, you can access those kind of information from the internet through the web server to anywhere that you are. Okay, either you are in Qatar, in Malaysia, in Thailand, Indonesia, throughout the world, yeah. I think to be like honest, you can access data everywhere as long that you are still here, exist in the world. So you may access lah, unless that you pass away, then we no longer access data, right? Inside the grave, we can access data only, only is on. While still human, you can access data throughout the world, yeah, based on the connectivity on the web server and also the database, and depend on the internet connections too. Okay, so this show how that they request the data. So they are using the concept of three-tier architecture, where the user client requests data from the web browser, and then it responds to the web server, and the server will give request from the database server. Database server will try to find the such information needed by the user and send back to web server, and web server display it into the client web browser. Okay, web server is like Apache or IIS. Okay, this is how the architecture works. Okay, this one will also the same. Okay, for the middle tier here, may involve the PHP, or if you are using the ASP or JSP, Java Server Pages, they are using their own scripting lah. And then they make request to the database. Then once they have the information, they will pass back to the middle tier, and middle tier will send back to the client tier through the internet cloud. I don't like to read. I just want you to view the architecture. Then I wish that you understand lah the concept of three-tier. Okay, here they mention about popular website. A common approach is to install the web server and database server on different machines, so that resources are dedicated to permit a more scalable and faster application. For very high-end application, a cluster of computers can be used, where database and web server are replicated and the load distributed across many machines. Of course, it is a big system. You may need few of web servers, okay, because web server may be just holding on certain type of pages, okay, certain page, certain website. So we may need few servers. Then dedicated web servers will in charge on the dedicated websites, okay. So it should be like there is a replication, so the load will be distributed to many machines, okay. I suppose like in banking, in universities, we are involving a lot of machines, right? So of course we need a lot of servers too, okay, to cater the situation if there are multiple process that need to be run in one go. Okay, you cannot just refer to one web server, because it will be taking much longer time and then giving much load to that specific machine. Okay, sebab tu kalau banking selalunya memang melibatkan mainframe yang besar-besar, so dia tak akan boleh handle dekat satu perkara, satu mainframe untuk handle semua kan. So they have to let a lot of machines to handle lah in one go. So where is data in database stored? Once a system processes the record, it stores them in a root directory. It consists of folder in computer storage system. And database software is also available to organize and correlate various set of data, most of it usually in natural processing language format, including text, numbers and symbols. So database software ni akan organize multiple set of data. Okay, so it is a good practice lah. Kalau database management system, the manager should always check their data concurrently lah, sama ada either they do bi-weekly, monthly, yearly or 6 months one time, right, or fortnightly. So we just afraid that there is a kind of redundant data or data that keep on appending but then not managed promptly kan. Maksudnya kalau data tu keep on appending, so how that you want to know that the data is still being used or not? you have to keep on like checking lah. But then that one should be under administrative by the database management system and the manager, okay, that involved. Normally they sit as database administrator, okay, they in charge of database, to take control on the data on all the records. Okay, so web database can be used for a range of different purpose. For example, number, string, and dates can all be inserted into web database. Proper database design involves choosing the correct data type for each field in order to reduce memory consumption and increase the speed of access. Although for small database this often isn't so important, big web database can grow to millions of entries and need to be well designed to be working effectively. Memang ni betul. Okay, sebab macam bila saya pergi internship visit, right? Okay, if you are in just like macam kalau you kan, I mean you are doing the projects kan, project tu actually is a small project, although that you seem that is like tough time you need to finish in one week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks kan. Because you have a lot of multiple projects right, with other subject. But then if you compare in the when you are in working time, actually you are involving of multiple of records, okay, million of records, can be hundreds of records. So the database design should be very good ones. Okay, you have to know who is the primary key, what is the candidate key, what is secondary key, and then the database design should not should avoiding any kind of redundancy, whereby that you want to set which one is the priority, who is the user, okay, what is the what is the user able to use, okay, certain kind of priority, right, you want to check. So this is the importance of database design, okay, because we want to avoid any kind of, if there is happen, okay, high memory consumption, if the database design is good, so you can reduce the memory consumption, okay, because it will affect your machine, because your machine may be handling other tasks as well. So that's why database design is very important. Yeah. So CMS, content management system, normally control the use of web database to store information such as posts, username, and comments. And using database allow the website to be updated easily and without the need to edit the HTML code for each individual page. And it is efficient way of creating and updating website, but also make the process more accessible to people who are not fluent in the programming language. Of course lah, database ni for those who are in IT field, in IT area, may you already be exposed, you already be explained during the class, you have the experience on developing the project, so maybe you consider like a quite familiar. But then why that we need to use the HTML and then design a very nice page for the website, etc., right? Because it is actually to help those who are not fluent in the programming language, the normal user who are not IT literate, so they don't know the back end that having the database. They just know how to use, but they do not know how to control for the programming part. Okay, so you are the one, you are the developer, so you may need to know how to control on the programming part and how that it is liaised with the database. Okay. So example of where the database may be used is on online forum. Forum software often creates a database with a number of tables, including one for users, posts, and settings. So it is important for the relationship between database table to be properly set and defined so that posts and users can be linked together easily. Okay, using database to improve business performance and decision making. Of course lah, because when you have database, you can check all the transaction, you can estimate how that is the business is going on that particular day or particular month. Okay, normally like in shopping mall kan, how many users that buying, how many customer that buying certain products, you may know all this by having the database. If you don't have database, how that you can track, right? That's why when you have database, you can do the data mining process. So it is actually linked to each other, so you can decide which product that is hot selling to that particular month. Kan, macam festive season, like what I always told in during the class, festive season like Hari Raya, like Chinese New Year, Christmas. So you can know, okay, which items that is in hot sellings in that particular festive season, so they can reduce the price. So how that they do this? By using the tracking or data mining through the database they collected from the user's transaction, from the customer's transaction. Okay, so they can facilitate decision making. It is more scalable, okay, and provide for business intelligence. Okay, using database to improve business performance, decision making, optimizing access and throughput to data is critical to business today because there is more data volume to track, and it is critical to have platform that can deliver the performance, scale, agility that business need as they grow. So this is the advantage lah. Okay, when we use the database. Okay, so I think this one I don't want to read. Okay, by of all you already know about database. Okay, to handle data, this is database table. As I mentioned just now, is you have to focus which one is that you want to search for the primary key, and then from the where it is supposed primary key, the data should be there. It cannot be vacant, right? Because you have set as a primary key, and it should be unique. Okay, this is a type of database management software. The one that we always use is MySQL. But in the market, they always use the Microsoft SQL Server 2, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQLite, and Microsoft Access. Okay. Okay, the one in class we use the MySQL because it's open source. You can download by free. You don't have to pay. Then it's actually already append together with the PHP, right? PHP my admin, so it will be easier for you to control. Okay, this is the explanation about MySQL. It also can be run in Linux. Okay, they are access data using how that you access data using the SQL structured query language, and can be used in many different kind of programming language such as PHP, Java, C# and others too. It's because it is open source. Okay, how that you can do the connection by right, the one that you need to focus is how that they do connection using this one, the required information, which is host name, username, password, and also the database name. Okay, you have to know how that they connect to the host server, which database, and then how to write the SQL statement, execute and close the connection. Okay, this one we already touched in the last subject, right? The database. Okay, the MySQL extension is deprecated in 2012. Then we have the MySQLi extension and PHP data objects. Okay, so PDO works with the various DBMS, whereas MySQLi only works with MySQL. Okay, you may refer to the link here for properties and method of the MySQLi. Then for MySQL, they support for procedural and object-oriented. This is how they do the connection. As I mentioned in the previous class, this is localhost. If you have username and password, you have to state the username and password and the database that you are connected to. Okay, yang ni kena ni lah. You have to particular lah. Kalau silap ni yang tak dapat connection. So if success, they will echo successfully. And then which the table that you want to write query, which one that you want to fetch the results, how that they display the result, and this is the last one, close connection. Okay, the procedural statement. This is how, okay, for procedural statement, just now I already showed previously. This is for using the object oriented. Yang ni untuk cara kalau gunakan object oriented concept lah. Okay, how they write. Okay, this is one using the PHP data object. Okay, but then ensure lah the host name, username and password should be there. Okay, you declare first. Okay, the best practice avoid mixing MySQL procedural and MySQL object oriented to access database. Jangan mix up. Kalau guna satu saja nanti dia conflict. Okay, this one using the SQL server. Okay, Microsoft SQL server. Tengok ni MS SQL Connect. MS SQL stand for Microsoft SQL server. Web deployment. Okay, yang ni I think most of you already know how that you can deploy to the website. Okay, if you have the web server, sorry, kalau yang local host is the web server yang on your own PC. Okay, but then this one refer to live website. Actually, you have to set up your DNS record, live testing site, set up email accounts and backup Angola. This one I would show you inside the class lah. Tapi kalau katakan in case I manage to record, I will make record, then I will show you also, yeah, for your knowledge. Okay, this is the free web hosting. Okay, free web hosting. Kalau nak free punya lah, kalau nak berbayar pun ada juga. Okay, summary, website database are essential tool for organizing data. They provide a structured approach for storing and retrieving records. It is robust. You can create, modify, and delete data, and it's the most popular of all types SQL web database. Okay, so we're done for chapter 7. Then next with chapter 8, I will make a record then upload to YouTube YouTube. So you may just view it again, yeah, based on your pace, and maybe during our revision then I will go through again with you all. Okay, thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum.